But like I said, if you're just joining in, I like to answer questions. I've been a youth pastor for a little over 30 years, and I like to answer youth pastor questions because there's so many youth pastors out there trying to build a successful youth ministry, and yet find themselves bogged down in all kinds of things that can be fixed if they want to fix them. And so I try to help and come alongside and help youth pastors be able to do this. Okay, we're going to jump into question number 2 here. Jeff's almost derailed the entire live stream here. Okay, how can I increase ownership with my students? How can I increase ownership with my students? It's a good question. I hear a lot of people talk about this, about wanting their students to own the youth ministry. And I will tell you immediately, the fastest way for students to get ownership in your youth ministry is for you to stop doing everything. Let it sink in for just a minute. Okay? How much of the work of the youth ministry do you do? If you tell me that you're doing 80 to 90% of the work, then there is no room for ownership for those students. You are sucking all the air out of the room. You are consuming all of the oxygen in the room. And so you're going to have to, first of all, stop doing things. So you're going to need to make a list. Here's my encouragement. Make a list of all the things that you do, right? And then ask yourself, number 1, do I need to be doing those things? Do I have to do it? Is that my jam? Is that the thing that I need to really pay attention to? Or, right? Or is it something that's, that only you can do? And so, and when you make that list of things, the things that remain after you've said, look, I'm only going to do this and this. After that, you say, okay, I got 15 things left to do. Well, those 15 things, you're going to have to start writing names down of people in your youth ministry or adult volunteers. But we're talking about students now. So if you want to increase ownership, they need roles and responsibilities, right? Because now they have an impact on what is going to occur. When I sit with my youth group, and part of my youth group time is I'll do announcements, but I have a small group. Like I said, I have 6, 7 students. So I ask them, I plan the event with them, right there with them, and say, hey, we're going to this whatever place, like it's got video games and glow-in-the-dark putt-putt and all these things. All right, we're going on the 16th, right? We're good with that date. Everybody? Yes. Okay. Number 2, I ask them about the price package you guys want, okay? It'll cost this much. We're going to pay for this much for you. And then the third thing I discuss with them is, well, what time are we going? And then I make a suggestion. I say, well, what about 11 to 2? Okay. And they go, okay, we'll go 11 to 2. So all this has to be confirmed and all that, but I'm working with them as a group to kind of get it going through the processes. This way, at least they know I'm not trying to be, Mr. Amazing here. I'm not trying to wow them with my, look at this great plan I have here. Look at this, right? I'm saying, look, we're going to get this done together. We're going to, whatever event we're doing, whatever we're trying to do, I'm not trying to be slick. I'm just trying to get things done. And I want you to be involved with this. Just recently, I have a 15-year-old young lady, freshman in my group. And I said, okay, I'm preaching this week. Everybody's going to be out of town. I need somebody in the group I want somebody to preach my first point with me. I'm going to have 4 points. I want somebody to do the first one. Who wants to work with me on that? Young lady raised her hand and says, I will. And I said, great. So I gave her some notes. What is my first point about? I said, but you're going to do it. I'm not writing the message for you. You're going to have to study it. You have to look at it. I gave her some pointers on studying, pointers on, delivery, all those kind of things. Anyway, she got up there, crushed it, right? The video, by the way, I'll put a link somewhere up here if you want to watch some of that, of what she did. She did a great job. But once again, could I have preached the whole message? Yes. But why would I? if I have a student who wants to participate. Just recently on Wednesday nights, our students started leading worship for the Wednesday night congregation. So they get up and they lead worship. These guys own about as much as they can own. All right. There's very few things that you or I can do that a student can't do with a little bit of help and training and mentoring. So I'm going to say, go back to your list, make your list of things that you're doing that you probably shouldn't be doing, and find a student who fits that, who has gifts, talents, and abilities that line up with that. And then all you have to do is ask them. You're not just putting people to work. You're saying, hey, I notice that you're good at that. I see that you're good at that. I need some help. Would you like to help me do this? And if they say no, it's okay if they say no. It's fine. You'll just find somebody else, right? But you're at least giving them the opportunity to own a piece of something. Every other month, we have student-led night. So they lead the game. They do the devotion or message. If there's anything else to be done, they do that. And that's that. That's what they do. But that is our system of getting things done, is of creating ownership, is allowing them to participate at the level they want to participate at with the gifts and talents that God has given them. And so I find ways to do that. That means I have to give up things. So I will end this part by repeating what I said at the beginning. In order for them to have more ownership, you have to have less ownership. They have to participate. You have to do less. Make that list. Circle the one or two things that you're going to do, and then everything else you're going to go out and find somebody. And you're going to continue to do the things you're going to do until you find somebody to do it. And then you're going to let it go. And you're going to let them do it. And then once you do that, you build conversations, you're doing discipleship with them, you're helping them, and you have a completely different youth ministry dynamic. Okay? So that is my answer to this. How do you increase ownership with my students? You decrease your ownership. And let me give you a resource that will help you with this, okay? Let me offer you a resource that I think can help with this. My Youth Meeting Playbook, and I'll put a link down below if you would like to have it for yourself. Basically, it has a lot of articles in there. It has basically planning sheets, okay? 52 planning sheets. We average, right? 52 basically meetings a year, at least 52 main meetings, right? Wednesday night or whatever it may be. And so it has 52 already made for you sheets, but it has worksheets. It has student leadership resources in it. It has articles. It has ways to work with your staff, how to do a youth meeting. It's got all that in there. So if you say, look, Paul, I would like to decrease my ownership, well, guess what? It starts with good planning. You plan on having less ownership. You plan on giving things away, and there are slots in this resource here on the planning sheet for students. And you're going to say, I'm going to write down a student's name for this. I'm going to write a student's name down for that. And so I have baked into the planning sheet that you're going to give away some responsibilities. Because if you're not thinking about it, you're not going to do it. You're going to say, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You're not thinking about other people doing it. And so this resource is a great resource that if you are, whether you're a new youth pastor who is just getting started and you say, Paul, I want to increase ownership. Okay. This will help you do that. If you're a veteran, listen, and you say, hey, I need something just to keep track of things, or maybe you're a volunteer, listen, this is going to be a great resource to help you do that. It's going to have the articles in there that I walk you through the processes of student leadership, roles and responsibilities. I think it has a whole list of roles and responsibilities you can give away. All kinds of things in there. They're going to help you create the dynamic of ownership in your youth ministry. And it starts with good planning.